For Sanjitpaal Singh, a working day in the jungle requires its own special preparation.
Typically, a working day will start really early in the morning, way before sunrise. And depending on the locations that we need to go to, uh, we need to allocate enough time to get to our shooting spot, assuming that there's a nesting bird at that season. But if we are photographing things like elephants or crocs by the river, I mean, it really changes in terms of your daily schedule. Currently, we are trying to focus on nesting hornbills. So there's this one spot which is somewhere in Malaysia that we need to leave at about 4 o'clock in the morning, hike up limestone hills, and try to get to that spot before sunrise. The reason we do that is because birds are most active really early in the morning, and we want to get there as quietly as possible and hide within the brushes so that we do not give out our location, so we do not scare this wildlife away. It's very important that we do that because the female hornbill is already in the nest and they have a chick, and if we scare the male off, he might not come back to feed, and so they might starve.
So why is it you do what you do?
Oh wow, I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to see different kinds of wildlife and their behavior. So I think contributing back to conservation allows me to do this. This allows me to travel and see different things and learn to appreciate new things. Just recently this year I had the pleasure to follow a different NGO that they are working on bats and flying foxes. And goodness, it's so interesting to see these animals up close, and you never think that you'll be able to see one in a city because they usually come on at night. But when you find a roosting site, oh goodness, it's heaven. It's really heaven to see something new.
It must take a lot of patience to wait many days for the perfect shot.
It is, and I would say that I'm stubborn that way. If I want my shot, I will do whatever it takes to get it. But being in the forest, I do not know. Someone described it in a way that they were watching me for 3 days, and I was photographing a oriental pied hornbill nest, and the ground was soggy, it was raining, and every day I'll pick up fallen branches just to build a little platform just for me to stand on. And I stood there for 3 days, but not the entire 3 days. It's like 8 to 12 hours a day for 3 days. And they described as though I was going into a meditative state. And that feeling is something that you can't replace with anything else while you're in the city. So patience, yes, I'm stubborn that way because I just really want my shot, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it.
Has your life ever been in danger?
Yes, this is a very, very dangerous job. It is extremely dangerous. At one location, it requires us to hike up limestone, and if we need to be there before sunrise, which means we need to hike in the dark, and it's really dark in the forest. So we've got headlamps, and which we charge the batteries every night and things like that. And while hiking the certain part of the path, you find that you're being attacked by insects because they're attracted to the light. And I have slipped, saved myself, and only to find out on the way down, it's like if I really went all the way down, I might not be able to survive. That's one. I mean, that's physical threats. Other physical threats could include, once again, elephants, wild boars. One time I was just sitting on a hammock, and I think I almost fell asleep because it's been long days and long weeks that you have 4 hours of sleep daily, and I was just falling asleep, and next thing I realized there's a snake crawling between my legs. I was like, that's a pretty cobra.
How has the environment changed since you began your work 17 years ago?
Oh, 17 years ago, it was definitely more green, and right now it's just more brown. And you can visually see it from either if you're traveling on a boat in a lake or if you're just flying from state to state. and just you look down and you see it's just getting more brown rather than how green it used to be. Uh, Certain places that we go to in northern Malaysia, the rivers used to be beautiful, pristine, crystal clear water. Most of these places are either drying up or the water is getting murky, which is kind of sad to see, because you tend to think about the other inhabitants within that ecosystem. Would they survive? Would they adapt? But it's just sad to see that this is happening. It's more brown than green than it used to be.
So what can be done to improve awareness about conservation?
Oh, there's a lot that can be done. Awareness is one thing that we try to do as much as we can, but awareness has its limitations, that it just stops there. What we want to try to do is trying to do behavior change programs, and of course starting from awareness and then behavior change programs, which will help people ultimately realize. From behavior change we can actually get tangible results, whether a person understands more about the forest or whichever topic that we are touching on that day, and we can always follow up with that person to see how much of knowledge they have gained and how much they have changed their lives towards positive conservation.
There's a view that conservation and development are polar opposites, but they don't actually have to be.
Okay.
What do you think?
They don't have to be, and realistically, look at this table. This table is made out of wood, and everybody needs a table. Everyone grew up with color pencils and coloring books, but if they can find a way to work together without causing a lot of harm to the environment or minimizing the damage that it causes, then that would be a great thing. And Malaysia can start doing this, and we don't really need to learn from other countries. If we start this, Malaysia can be a leader in this. We still have a lot of forest, but we cannot take it lightly because it might be gone soon.